Welcome. This is Chapter 3 of The Spiritual Combat and a Treatise on Peace of Soul by Dom Lorenzo Scupoli. The title of this chapter is Confidence in God. Although distrust of self is absolutely necessary in the spiritual combat, nevertheless, if this is all we have to rely on, we will soon be routed, plundered, and subdued by the enemy. To it, therefore, we must join firm confidence in God, the author of all good, from whom alone the victory must be expected. Since it is certain that, in ourselves, we are nothing, and that dangerous misfortune continuously threatens us, reason itself suggests distrust of our own strength. But if we are fully convinced of our weakness, we shall gain, through the assistance of God, very great victories over our enemies. There is nothing of greater efficacy in obtaining the assistance of heaven than placing complete confidence in God. We have 4 means of acquiring this excellent virtue. First, to ask it with great humility. Second, to contemplate with an ardent faith the immense power and infinite wisdom of the Supreme Being. To him nothing is difficult. His goodness is unlimited. His love for those who serve him is always ready to supply them with the necessities for their spiritual life and for gaining a complete victory over themselves. All that he demands is that we turn to him with complete confidence. Can anything be more reasonable? The amiable shepherd, for 33 years or more, sought after the lost sheep through thorn-roughened ways, with so much pain that it cost him the last drop of his sacred blood. When this devoted shepherd sees his strayed sheep finally returning to him with a desire of being guided in the future by him alone, and with a sincere, though perhaps weak intention of obeying him, is it possible that he would not look upon it with pity, listen to its cries, and bear it upon its shoulders to the fold? Doubtless he is greatly pleased to see it united again to the flock, and invites the angels to rejoice with him on that occasion. For if he searches so diligently after the drachma in the gospel, which is a figure of the sinner, if he leaves nothing untouched in order to find it, can he reject those who, like sheep longing to see their shepherd, return to the fold? Can it be imagined that the spouse of our souls, who diligently seeks to take possession of our hearts, whose greatest delight is to communicate himself to us and heap continual blessings on us, can it be imagined that he, finding the door open and hearing us beg to be honored by his presence, will do anything but grant our request? Third, another means of acquiring this salutary confidence is frequently to recall what we are assured of in the Holy Scriptures, the witnesses of truth in 1,000 different places, that no one puts his trust in God will be defeated. Fourth, the final means of acquiring both distrust of self and confidence in God is that before attempting to perform any good action or to encounter some failing, we should look at our own weakness on the one hand, and on the other hand contemplate the infinite power, wisdom, and goodness of God. Balancing what we can fear from ourselves with what we hope from God, we shall courageously undergo the greatest difficulties and severest of trials. Joining these weapons to prayer, as we shall see later, we shall be able to execute the greatest plans and gain decisive victories. But if we neglect this method, though we may flatter ourselves that we are actuated by a principle of confidence in God, we will usually be deceived. Presumption is so natural to man that without notice, it insinuates itself into the confidence he imagines he has in God and the distrust he fancies he has of himself. Consequently, in order to destroy all presumption and to sanctify a reaction with the 2 virtues opposite to this vice, the consideration of one's own weakness must precede that of the divine power. Both of these must precede all undertakings. And so concludes Chapter 3 of the Spiritual Combat in a Treatise on Peace of Soul by Dom Lorenzo Scupoli.